Welcome back. This is going to be the last video in our review for your logic midterm. One of the things that you will be given is a sentence, and then you will be asked to rewrite this sentence using a symbolic syllogism. That is a symbolic argument. Now, we did not go over dilemmas, so none of these will be dilemmas, and we did not go over conjunctive, so these will not be conjunctive. They will be hypothetical or disjunctive, and I will indicate whether the disjunctive is weak or strong. I will also indicate whether you need to check for validity or not. Now, a couple things to keep in mind. All symbolic syllogisms are going to follow, and I'm going to set this aside here. This is not the answer to the question. This is just meant to help us. Are going to follow a three-tiered structure that is going to be either such as either P or Q, then a premise, then a conclusion. Now this is invalid if it's weak, right? But notice that it's going to have the either or, then a premise, then a conclusion. Similarly, you're going to have if P, then Q, P, therefore Q, something like that. Notice the if then comes up here, then a premise, then a conclusion. I am emphasizing this because even though we often speak in a way like this, you still have to write it like this, although this order is going to be different than this order. So let me say this another way. Don't write this like, let's say your conclusion comes first. Therefore, Q, if P, then Q, P. This doesn't make any sense. Even if the conclusion arrives first in the sentence, you do not have the authority to then start changing this up. You're always going to have an if, then, premise, conclusion. An either or, premise, conclusion, right? Never, ever, ever rearrange this three-tiered structure. So don't ever write it like this. Don't ever write it like P, therefore Q, and if P, then Q. Don't ever write something like this. It must always follow a structure of an if, then, premise, conclusion, an either or, premise, conclusion. So let's look at our sentence. Let's say you're given this sentence. Don't forget an umbrella, since it's either raining or it's sunny, and it's definitely not sunny. I want you to take a moment, pause the video if you need to, and try to figure out the answer for yourself, because this is going to be what stumps students the most on any logic exam that I give that has to do with symbolic logic. So try to solve it yourself quickly, and then we're going to do this together. All right, so if you didn't pause it, man, pause it, because I'm going to solve it now. So if you need to pause it, pause it. Here you go. Don't forget an umbrella, since it's either raining or it's sunny, and it's definitely not sunny. If I were you, the first thing I would be looking for is phrases like either or if then. If you've got an either or an if then, right, if you need to underline it so you know, okay, this is going, so we've got an either or, this means this, something like this is going to be our first premise. It's either raining, so either it is raining, P, or it is sunny. So it's raining is P, and it's sunny is Q. It's definitely not sunny. So I've already labeled sunny as Q. This is Q. Raining. Notice I'm just kind of taking this and putting it over there. It's raining. This is P. So it's definitely not sunny. It's not sunny. And since it's not sunny, that implies what? It is raining. Or, don't forget an umbrella. I've used this term before, and this is what we call an enthymeme. I believe I'm spelling this correctly. An enthymeme. An enthymeme is an argument that omits a premise or a conclusion. It omits something. So the argument technically is it's either raining or, it's either raining or it's sunny. It's not sunny, therefore it's raining. That's how we would say this in a nice, logical, robotic, Spockian way. Okay, but really when we talk, we say things like, hey man, it's either raining or it's sunny, and since it's not raining, don't forget an umbrella, right? Since it's not sunny, don't forget an umbrella. That's just the way we normally talk. So in this example, the conclusion is here first. Don't forget an umbrella, since it's either raining or it's sunny, and it's definitely not raining. If I were you, first thing you want, because we can't go out of this order. Remember, we can't do this. Because technically, if we're going to write this, you might say something like, don't forget an umbrella, that's P, and it's either raining or Q, but now, like, P doesn't repeat here, this is umbrella, so now we got Q or R, and it's not sunny, so not R. Like, this is just confusing. It must be structured like this. It must make sense, and nothing follows if this is the case. So you have to be careful. You have to read it carefully. You need to be aware that sometimes sentences don't follow a nice, neat order. And you need to be prepared for rewriting a sentence using a logical, symbolic syllogism. And when you do, remember, it must be in an order, P or Q. If P, then Q. Right? It must follow this order, an either or, an if then a premise, then a conclusion. So you're going to stick to this order, but if you need to, what I do is I first look for key terms like either or, and that's where I begin. Okay, I've got either or I've got if then. So find your if then, and then label P and then Q, and then move on from there. Is something affirmed? Is something negated? Is there a conclusion explicitly there, or in this case, implicit? This is an implicit conclusion. It's implied, hey, it's raining, so don't forget an umbrella. So this is going to be probably for some the most difficult part of this midterm. You will be given some questions that have a sentence, and you will be asked to diagram it using the symbolic logic syllogisms that we've gone over. All right, so please be prepared for that. And this marks the end of the midterm review. Best of luck, everyone.